Hello, and welcome to Your Daily Balance, Idaho Central Credit Union's video podcast, where we're here to bring you tips and tricks to helping you on your way to achieving financial success. And today we're going to be talking about America Saves Week, which is one of my favorite weeks of the year.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it, Laura. Thanks for having me to talk about it.
Absolutely. So, Matt Spanbauer, you are our Vice President of Member Relationship.
Yeah, I've been here for about 10 years and loved every minute of it.
And with member relationship, what does that mean? How are you engaging with our members on the regular?
That's a great question. So I get to work with all of our online relationship agents. So those members, if you apply online, it goes through that team. And then I also get to work with our member retention team. So if members need something else from us that we aren't quite delivering up front, they can get a hold of that team. We'll help out as well. And the last part that I get to do is I get to deliver our sales and service process with how our teams interact with our membership. So.
Yeah, I love what you do because it's really all about, at the heart of it, it's just whatever we can do to train our team members internally and to help our team members internally so that we can help our members with whatever individualized need that they have.
Yeah, no, I love that I get to help team members understand members' needs. And then we have all the great products to deliver upon those needs too, which is great. And then on the financial well-being side, I also get to help team members be successful with their finances too.
Yeah, that is, that's something we don't actually talk about externally very often, but we're here to help all of our members achieve financial success. And that's also our team members too, so that we can all learn and make sure that we're doing our very best.
Yeah, I always think of it like the airplane, Laura, like when they always say, put your mask on first before you can help someone else.
Yes.
I think about the same thing with our own financial well-being. We need to put our oxygen mask on first before we help someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a really great way to kind of make that parallel there. So, okay, so America Saves Week. It's this week, April 8th through the 12th.
Right.
And it's a national thing that we've been doing for a long time. Do you want to kind of break down just high level what America Saves Week means to you? And then we'll kind of dig into each day and talk about the themes.
Yeah, no, I love to think about America Saves Week like this. If you're like me, you're a budgeter, and I dig in this week every year to see what I'm trying to do with my finances, how to get there, and then I can reallocate what I have going on already to be even more successful going forward. So it's a good time for members to take a look at their finances, take a look at what they're doing, plan for the future, and make adjustments. Yeah,
and even internally, we're doing a thing where Green Teamers have shared their tips and tricks with each other on budgeting and things like that too. It's touching all the things.
No, that was a really fun project that I got to do. We solicited feedback from the Green Team to hear what they're doing to budget as prices increase, trying to figure out how to work through this current economic environment. And we got some amazing tips. And we broadcasted one team member every 9 weeks. We broadcasted, and we were able to celebrate them and what they were doing to be successful with their finances.
Yeah. And we're going to kind of dig into these, and those topics would touch really any of the different areas that these weekly themes will too. So, Monday, that's the first day, saving automatically.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what you've seen people do that helps them save automatically?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things you can do is automate it. And I know that's what you're saying, but there's some automatic mechanisms that we have. What I've seen members do is take advantage of our Central Sense program. What that does is basically when you use a debit transaction, you swipe your debit card somewhere. If it was $10.98, it'll round it up to $11 and put 2 cents into another account for you so that you're saving even though you don't really know that you're saving. Another way to automate things is actually to take advantage of one of our rewards, our Premier Rewards cards that you can swipe, and every time you swipe that you get points and you forget about it. But then when it's time to redeem, you can redeem those, and then you can get points to pay off things on there. In addition to that, a lot of members will take advantage of accounts that we have where they take so much of their paycheck and they put into like an IRA or something like that so they can continue to save for the future.
Yeah. I love that. And the other thing you said with the points, while they're very easy to access when you are ready to spend those points, they do kind of sit in the background. And another trick, I think, is that your Central Sense account, in eBranch, you can actually hide it too, so that you're not, you can look at it all the time if you like to do that, but if you want to, you can just hide it and just like just let it do its thing.
I'm really excited. I'm probably sharing more about myself here, but we actually take our Central Sense account and our points and we save for it for trips. So we're actually going to go to the Grand Canyon and down to Arizona to watch some baseball games later this spring. So
oh
really
my
fun.
gosh, is it spring training?
It is spring training.
Oh
so
my
I'm
gosh,
excited to see
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's get into, so that was automatic savings. Now Tuesday would be saving for the unexpected.
Yeah. This was really fun. I got to talk to several team members about this, and this is an area where I could grow as a saver, but a lot of our team members have established a really strong emergency fund. And what they do is they take a portion of their checks and then they put it into the savings account. And people will call it an emergency fund. Some people will call it just a rainy day fund. But what we find is that when you save for this and then you need to do a replacement, like one of the team members talked about, they had to replace their water heater and their washing machine in the same week. They were able to just pull the money out of that account and pay for it, and it was stress-free. It was money that they had that they had set aside specifically for that. And emergency accounts are great, especially if you get it in like a higher yielding account, like our high yield online savings. That'd be a great way to save.
Yeah. And what is the recommendation for people when they're starting out an emergency fund? What's the best way to start out with that? How much money should you shoot for? What are you kind of going for?
When you're starting out, I mean, I would start out as a percentage, like a lower percent, 10 to 20%, but a lot of people put 30% into that account just to put it aside. So that's after tax funds that they put it to the side so that they can save for the future. So.
Wow, that's great. Okay, then Wednesday. Wednesday, saving for major milestones.
Yeah, so saving for milestones is important. This is when you think about the things that are going to come up, whether you're planning a wedding or a retirement or anything big like that. That's another one that I would automate, but it also comes down to planning, right? My wife will tease me because I am a budgeter. I can use Excel. But what I've learned to do to plan for these things is I know every year my son's birthday is September 22nd. So I start
That's
saving.
pretty good.
I know his birthday. I know. But so I start saving early in the year for that. And I look back on each year to see what we spent on that so that I can budget the year ahead. So one good way to budget for the future and to save for those milestones is to know what you did last year. Keep track of that. Keep a record of it.
Yeah. And also you kind of put in here too, eating at home. I know that's not like directly connected to the major milestones, but that's a way that you can trim up just a little bit so that you can be.
Yeah. No, so eating at home is something that actually Michael talked to us about, which is really cool. It was a tip from one of our former CEOs is like, rather than going out for lunch, eat in. This is probably hard because we love eating out and the meals are so easy, but there was a really cool app that was suggested as we got it from team members. It's called Supercook. And what it does is you put in the ingredients in your pantry and then it helps you build a recipe for a delicious meal from there. And it allows you to save money, not have to go to the store, and you can just shop your house. So
that's a very cool concept. And all the while, you're just putting little by little money little by little into those accounts for those major milestones.
Right. Yeah. All together.
And it really does add up. I think sometimes savings has this reputation for, you have to put a lot in, or you have to kind of figure out how to pull a lot of money so that you can put it, away. But really, it really is like the central sense you're talking about is little by little, It
doesn't have to be a lot. You just have to get started. Get started, start saving. Do what you can to not touch it, but if it's that emergency fund and you have an emergency, it's the time to use it.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Okay, so Thursday, paying down debt is saving.
Right. So this is typically called the snowballing method. And when we think about snowballing, you want to identify the easy hurdles first, ones that you can jump over quickly just to get some momentum. And so what I would recommend here is find those things that you can pay off more easily. Maybe you have a couple $100 on a credit card. Let's pay that off first, because then you can take the money from the credit card and then start paying it towards something else. The other way that you can look at it as well is like, what's that highest interest one that you're paying on, and then pay that down first as well. So you take that, you pay one off, and you start paying on the next one, and the next one you just make this giant snowball, just like the base of your snowman. Yeah,
and all of a sudden, instead of paying minimums on multiple different accounts, you're kind of amping that up every time you take that every time that snowball gets bigger, you're putting more and more towards to the bigger balances.
And then you're not paying the interest on those balances, which in turn is savings for you, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is one of my very favorite things to talk to people about, because sometimes they haven't heard about that before, and it can really be life-changing.
For sure. Like I said earlier, start somewhere and just keep going.
Yeah. So. Okay. And then Friday, saving at any age.
Yeah, I love this. So I have 2 little ones at home. I have Cooper and Natalie. Cooper's 6 and Natalie is 8. And they're very different in how they save. But we started them out very early, right after they were born, with a ShareBear savings account. And from there, we contributed to it. But lately, they've been trying to earn more money. My son wants to go buy toys all the time. Every week he wants to buy a toy, and he asks me for a toy. I'm like, let's start figuring out how to save. So I built them a chore chart, and every chore that they do, they get a point on the board. A point is worth 25 cents, and it builds up over time. I try to pay them once a week. Their dad's a little irregular. I try. They do a good job.
They're going to start keeping an eye on that.
Oh yeah, they call Friday paydays, but some days it doesn't work out. But anyway, so I try to pay them once a week, and then when they go to save, I make them take 50% of what they've earned from their chores, put it in their ShareBear account, and the other 50% they can spend on what they want to. So I'm trying to teach those habits early and often. Yeah,
absolutely. And you have the kids, and it's never too young to start teaching them that. But also, it's never too late to start saving either.
No, not at all. That's something that my mother-in-law is really good at, is saving. And I wish that I had been as good as her, but she actually just started recently another account, and she just continues to find ways to save. She's saving for her cabin in Colorado as she remodels it, and so you can keep finding different reasons to save, and it's never too late, like you said, Laura.
Yeah. One thing before we wrap up here, I thought it would be nice to just kind of mention that we have so many resources for members that they can call in and talk to somebody, or go to a branch, or use the VSC and video chat with somebody, because we have team members that are here to help you figure out where you are, because sometimes that's the first step, is just getting everything all together, figuring out where you are, and helping to make a plan move forward.
I love that, Laura. I get an opportunity to work with a lot of these team members, like we said at the beginning. And what I love is that, like you said, we can interact with members however they want to. Had an opportunity to watch a video chat this last week, so that's using our virtual service center. A member picked up their cell phone, logged into the app, hit video chat, and connected with somebody instantly. This is super cool.
That is so cool.
But the member called in to change her phone number. And in the meantime, our team member asked a few questions, figured out how he could help her save for some things in the future. She wanted to save some money so that someday she could then get a visa, because we would do what's called a share secured visa, which she'd put money in an account and then she'd have a visa to build her credit off of. So in this call, he helped her establish a savings account, and then he subsequently called her back and helped her set the visa up. So not only is he helping her save, but he's helping her build credit too in the future. But that's through our virtual service center, but you can interact with us through chat, over the phone, in branch. We just want to help our members the best we can.
Yeah. And even online, we have a lot of financial education there with our new Money EDU platform, where people can go and educate themselves, build budgets, do a financial health check.
Yeah, that was a whole rabbit hole for me.
Well, I mean, there's so much information there. I logged into Money
EDU and I started reading about budgeting, and I dove in. I probably spent 2 hours just reading about budgeting. It's a great tool, great resource on our website.
Well, and that's for somebody who knows a lot about budgeting, and so it really hits. I mean, it can be as elementary as you need it to be if you're a beginner, but if you're somebody like you who's already really experienced with budgeting, I mean, you're finding you can always find more tips and tricks.
I love it. Yeah. Dive in, read. You can learn so much in there. So.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for being here to talk to us about this. We're excited for America Saves Week.
For sure. No, I love this. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks for helping get this out to our members.
My pleasure. We hope that these tips and tricks gave you some inspiration to help you save successfully. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be notified of future episodes, and we will see you next time.